Hi Sarah, thank you so much for coming in today.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Can you tell me a little bit how you started your company?
Yeah, so I got married and my husband's last name is Blome. Now my last name's Blome. And he's an artist. And for our wedding I wanted to do something that just kind of signify him and celebrate getting married, because getting married's awesome. And so I was like, I'm gonna make paper flowers. And I woke up and I told my mom, she's over there, and I told her, I make paper flowers for my wedding, and everybody thought I was insane, and I made, I think it was like 1,000 paper flowers.
Wow.
And they're small, and we had some larger ones for an installation piece. And then after the wedding, people started seeing my photographer's photos, and everybody wants me to start doing paper flowers for their weddings. And so it's an amazing opportunity, and that's how I got into this.
Well, where do you get your inspiration from?
I look at a lot of photos of live flowers. And so I look at them, I love looking at just the different textures they have and the way they're composed. There's so many just interesting flowers out there that I can look at and try to create from. And then sometimes the paper just doesn't work the way you want it to. And so you're making a flower, you know exactly what you want it to look like, and instead it turns out something completely different but equally awesome just because that's what the paper wanted to do.
And what type of paper do you use? Is there like different types?
Yeah, we use about 7 different types of paper.
Wow.
And so if you look at photos of our walls, you'll see that all the flowers have a kind of different texture, a different effect. They pick up the light differently. And that's because of all the different types of papers and different textures of the papers that we use.
Okay. Do you have any seasonal flowers and that you use seasonal colors maybe?
So I'm working on Christmas poinsettias right now.
Oh, that's cool.
And so we do seasonal ones. I think this is the first time we've done it, and it's something that's been incredibly fun, and I think that we'll try to keep doing it ongoing, and we might have Christmas poinsettia workshops that we start doing.
Oh, that should be exciting.
Yeah, so I'm very excited about that.
Okay. What is the most expansive or most amazing piece that you've done?
So we did a wedding that had a 18-foot wide, 16-foot tall paper flower backdrop at the Houston Country Club. And then we hung, I think it was 500 roses from giant balloons on the ceiling. And so it was this beautiful effect with the balloons and the ribbons and then the roses. And that's definitely the biggest wedding we've done so far, and it was just absolutely gorgeous.
It sounds amazing. What flower is more common that they order for your bouquets?
So I actually don't do bouquets anymore.
Okay.
Because it was just taking away time from working on the backdrops, which I prefer more. So I've got 3 ladies that I refer bouquets to. And so one specializes in very whimsical flowers, and one does very realistic flowers. And then one's like a healthy mix of in between the two.
Okay. What is your creative process in planning what you're going to do for a wedding?
So on creating a wedding look for a bride, I spend a lot of time with her on Pinterest, which I think is very common nowadays, just because if they send me 50 photos, I can look through all of them and see, okay, she had streamers in every single photo she sent me. Obviously she wants to incorporate streamers somehow. Or I can see, hey, she said she didn't want yellow to be one of her wedding colors, and yet everything has yellow daisies. And so then we just kind of talk through and figure out what exactly is the feel and the texture, and if she has a style she wants for her wedding. And then we start creating flowers and installation pieces off of that.
Okay. How far in advance should our brides contact you?
You know, earlier is always best, especially if you're wanting a custom creation, because everything I make is handmade by my mom and I. And so it takes a lot of time, and then we're very good at customizing to your needs. And like I said, like if you have a tropical wedding, we're going to create some tropical flowers for you. If you want a Mexican wedding, we're going to develop a line of Mexican paper flowers for you. And so that's a little time consuming, but it has an awesome effect, definitely worthwhile, and I enjoy creating things that are new just for that specific bride. But earlier is always the best, so I have time to work through all of that with you.
So I saw on your website you have that beautiful wall piece that you can rent.
Yes, so the rentals are new for 2015, and we're extremely excited to offer them. We were getting booked up with custom orders, and so we were still wanting brides, they're still wanting our stuff. And so our Kleinfeld wall was a wall that we made for Kleinfeld Bridal. It got shipped. It was very fun, and people saw the photos and they wanted that at their wedding. So our first rental was the Kleinfeld rental. It comes in multiple 4 feet by 8 feet pieces and then a couple smaller size pieces so I can customize it out for you. And it starts at 8 by 8 feet and it can go from 8 by 8 to 8 tall and I think 32 feet wide right now.
Wow.
So it's great for a red carpet runner. It can also go 12 high and 12 wide. I mean, it's very customizable, but it gives the brides that aesthetic they want without having to go into all of the custom order process with me.
Sounds great. And will our brides be seeing you at the Bridal Extravaganza
They
Show?
will be, yes.
Great. So they'll have to go and stop by in your booth.
Yes, and we'll have something more fun this year. We had the big white backdrop last year. This year we're going to have, I think, one of every one of our rental walls.
Okay.
So they'll be able to see each one of those and all of their options, and then we can also talk about custom orders.
How long does it usually take you to make a piece?
Okay, so wonderful question. I'm going to have my mom bring a flower. So
beautiful.
can you see this? I don't know. I'm trying to angle it this way.
Do you want me to hold it?
So this is Big Bertha.
Big Bertha.
It's a peony that we've made, and each petal has to be hand cut
Wow.
and then glued on. So this one actually takes about 18 hours to make,
Oh my Lord.
which is why renting is actually a great option. But you know, I very much try to just make really cool, interesting pieces for my brides, and
Okay.
always playing with new flowers, new textures. And so when we perfect things like Big Bertha is, we get to figure out how long it took to make, and that one's 18 hours every time we make it.
Oh wow.
Some flowers are obviously quicker than
Yeah.
that, but we have a diverse mix on every wall. You know, simple looks good with complex. You don't want anything too overwhelming.
How do you help your bride in the creative process in picking their centerpieces?
I love to work with florists. I think what we do is very similar, even though it's different, and they're always filled with, they've got so much insight. They know flowers backwards, forwards, they know what colors it comes in. I really, especially on custom orders, I try to work with the florist and we kind of create a cohesive theme, and I make sure that my flowers echo their flowers if at all possible. So that when you see the centerpieces, they merge with the wall, they match it as opposed to competing for attention. So the Kleinfeld wall, we have a healthy mix of flowers that we worked with. I mean, we've built it about 6 times now, messing with the mix of flowers and making sure it's perfect. So that whatever colors you put in front of it, whatever structure of flowers you put in front of it, it works out. And so I'm always happy to help my brides, you know, pick whatever they need for their wedding and make sure it all flows perfectly. For instance, I helped a bride pick out what colored napkins once. It's just making certain brides have a cohesive feel. You know, I love working with them and doing that.
Great, sounds good.
The best way to contact me is through my website, www.blomespaperie.com, and that's BLOMESPAPERIE.com. Alternatively, because my last name is Blome spelled very oddly, you can also Google Houston Paper Flowers, and you can find me via HoustonPaperFlowers.com.